Welcome to Amy Learns to Cook. I'm Eric, and on today's show, and I'm salivating thinking about this, I'm going to make my French onion dip hoagies, where I'm going to use this big ol' onion, some thinly sliced ribeyes, hoagie that I'm going to toast, and a bunch of seasonings that are just going to make it taste out of this world. So why don't you join me as I make my French onion dip hoagie. So the first thing we're going to do is slice the onion. You could also use this at a time to heat up a pan with some butter, but I'll show that in just a moment. So the first thing I'm going to do is cut this thing of the peel and get it cut in half moons. So let's just go ahead and get this guy cut. Go ahead and slice this. And we're just going to go ahead and pull this thing into the individual rings, as you can kind of see I'm doing there. And these pieces here, we just, coarse sliced them. It doesn't really matter because they're obviously going to be simmering. I'll give you a hint. We're going to be using a wonderful broth to tenderize these guys, and they're going to give up their flavor into the broth. But we're also going to be putting these back onto the sandwich, and we'll show you that in just a little bit. Okay, so what we're going to do here is I got this saucepan here kind of warming up here, and I've got a tablespoon of butter that I'm going to melt in there. And we're just going to go ahead and get that melted in there. I'm going to go ahead and throw in the onions right now. And we're not going to initially season them. What I want to do is I want to get them softened with this butter. And then once they get, a little translucent and stuff, I'm going to go ahead and throw in a clove of minced garlic. I don't want to throw the garlic in now because, you run the risk of it turning bitter. Right after we do that, we'll throw in some broth. Now that the onions have been kind of doing what they do in here for about maybe 5 minutes or so, it's time for us to go ahead and add the garlic. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. You can obviously mince it the normal way with a knife, or if you got one of these little gadgets, do so. So I've already got a clove here that I've already peeled off the skin on it. I don't even know how this dang thing works. Amy's got to buy these contraptions. Oh, okay, I think that's how it works. So make sure I don't drop this thing. So it fits in there. It's going to close, and then we're going to squish it. Hopefully not kill this pan. All right. Let me go ahead and stir this up one more time. All right. So we got a little caramelization going on here, which is pretty good. So that's going to help add flavor, right? We're not burning the onions. We're just caramelizing them a little bit. And then we're going to add this little goodness in here. Garlic's had a chance to do a little of its magic in there. I smell garlic, I smell onions. I'm in paradise, right? So what I'm going to do here is a couple things. I'm going to add some beef broth. Now, if you got like a 14-ounce can, that's great. I use better bouillon. It tastes pretty good too, and it's convenient because I can make as little or as much as I want. So I made 2 cups. So 2 ounces isn't going to matter much, right? So I'm just going to go ahead and pour this in here. And now that's all good. And stir this is, I'm going to bring the temperature up. I had this on kind of like a, medium high. I don't know. I'll probably bump it up a little bit. I want to bring this thing up to a boil. And then as soon as it hits a boil, we're then going to reduce it down to a simmer. But right now, you want to add a little bit of seasoning here. If you've got some dry thyme, then throw maybe half a teaspoon in there, and that should add a little bit more flavor to it. I'm going to use something called Sunny Paris that Penzi Spices sells, and it's got a lot of good ingredients in there, in case you guys can read that. And if you don't have access to this, this stuff has purple shallots, chives, green peppercorn, French basil, French tarragon, chervil, not sure how you pronounce that, bay leaf, and dillweed. And this stuff is wonderful. So, and since I'm addicted to it, I'm going to actually add a whole 2 teaspoons to it. I'm sure a half a teaspoon would be good, but this is how I make it, so that's what I'm going to do. But really, start off with maybe half a teaspoon, and you'll probably be good. Me, I get addicted to this stuff. So we got that going. And we're also going to throw in just a 1/4 teaspoon of pepper. I don't want to kill myself on this. So we're going to do that. So I'm going to simmer this thing on low for, maybe 10 minutes. That way the onions have a chance to do what they're going to do in here and give up some flavor to the broth, of course. And then once we do that, we're going to throw our meat in, and I'll show that in just a minute. I'm going to go ahead and put in the meat now. This is thinly sliced ribeye, and I'm going to actually put it in uncooked, and I'm going to let this take care of it for me. I'm going to go ahead and punch this thing back up to a good boiling temp. And this induction setup is so fast. It really responds pretty good, so I really like using it. Plus, with it, I get a good chance to get the shots in there as well. What I'm going to do here is throw this in here. If you've got thinly sliced beef, ideally you cook it first, and then you can throw it in here, and it takes less time. But because this stuff is really thin, and I'm talking about, I don't know, it's maybe 1/4 of an inch or less. Maybe 3/8 of an inch. It's really thin. It should cook really fast. Heck, I use this stuff on my panini sandwiches, and it cooks really fast. So the idea is, regardless if you're using cooked meat or trying to cook it raw here. Another thing is, if your meat has a lot of fat in it or anything, you might want to cook it first so you don't get a lot of fat in here. Since this stuff is really lean, except for a little bit of marbling is really nice, then I'm not too worried about that. If you have a problem with the amount of broth in there, then go ahead and increase it by maybe a cup, and you shouldn't really have a problem. As you can see, I've got this stuff covered. I'm going to heat this up to a boiling, and then I'm going to go ahead and reduce the temperature once again. I simmered it actually for about 5 minutes. The meat cooked very fast as I expected it would. So I'm going to go ahead and take it off this heat here. Okay, so first thing we're going to do is we've got toasted bread with a little cheese on it, right? I'm going to go ahead and get some meat out of here. And this 1 pound of meat should serve 4 people. This onion is quite large, so I think it's probably enough meat for right now. And let's see if I can get some this delicious onion on there. It's got to be a better way to get that, but I think I got enough of that, so I'm not going to be too greedy, right? And then let's get some of this great sauce here. See how I'm just picking it up So I think it should be enough for me, right? And now it's time to take a taste. So this is the fun part, right? Actually eating it. So let's see if we can close this bad boy. Hey, we accomplished that first, right? All right. So now let's go ahead and dip this in because that's the whole purpose, right? Get a little flavor on there. Mmm. The oniony beef flavored broth there is really good. Making a mess here. And of course the ribeye is just awesome. Cheese of course helps. The seasoning, the onion is really good. It's a nice full flavor. It definitely doesn't taste like, you know, beef bouillon, which is just salt water that's caramel color. This stuff has some serious flavor to it. I definitely give this my thumbs up. You can adjust the level of the dip juice as needed. If you think you really need more, you can add a little bit, especially with how much meat you put in there. But otherwise, this works really well. The flavor is incredible. You know, I definitely give it my thumbs up, and I really hope that some of you try it and let me know how it turns out for you, because I think this is great. You know, we go to some of the roast beef places like Arby's and stuff, and their stuff is good, you know, but this is really incredible. This has so much flavor, you know, and it's really cheap to just make it yourself. And that's some of this is just, you can make it cheaper than going out, and it can taste a lot better too. So I really hope you try this. If you like this recipe, please leave a comment, subscribe, give us a like, thumbs up, all that good stuff. You can subscribe below. Visit our website, amylearnstocook.com, and also we're on Pinterest and Twitter at Amy Learns to Cook. This thing is not long for the world, right? Hmm.